5, 6, 7. Can you hear me? Is it okay for you? Yeah. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you want me to talk? Okay, okay. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our masterclass today. We talk about email marketing, marketing email. Do we say email marketing or marketing email in English? Marketing email?
Email marketing.
Email marketing. Okay. So, yeah, okay.
you want, what you need. This one's for you. Come on, lady.
You said you know, and I'll take all of it. You said you wait to get you home with me. You said you know, and I'll take all of it. You said you wait to get you home with me.
Okay. Hope you can hear me. Yes? Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining our masterclass. Masterclass during which we'll be talking about email marketing. Email marketing, this channel we killed so many times over the last 20 years, but the fact is that this channel remains one of the major digital channel to make business and to maintain a good relationship with your customers and potential clients. When we talk about email marketing, we usually talk about data, uh, segmentation, personalization, deliverability. But if you want to be efficient in your email strategy, you need to take three other key points into consideration. The first one is about productivity. And the question will be how to make sure to be able to produce all the email I need, in a quick, easy, and cost-effective way. The second key point is about quality. And the question will be how to make sure that my emails will be well displayed, whatever the devices, the screen sizes, the operating system, the waymails, and so on. And last but not least, the third key point is about innovation. How can I put more impact in my communication? How can I stand out from competition? We answer all these questions thanks to our email builder, Dartagnan. And today we are happy to share with you the example of Tag Heuer. And we will see how how Dartagnan helps Tag Heuer on a daily basis to improve their processes and to optimize their performances. Nice to meet you. I'm Nicolas. I'm Managing Director for Just Relate France. And today on the stage, I am with Philippe.
Yeah, I'm Phil. Nice to meet you. Very happy that you're all here today. Well, I'm working in the account management, especially with large enterprise customers to realize their complex web-based solutions. And as Nicolas said today, we are very happy to share an insight about Tag Heuer, about our email marketing templating builder with you today. But before we start, we would like to give you a quick introduction of Tag Heuer. I guess anyone who's in the room here will know the brand quite well. It's a very well-known watchmaker. Before I continue, since we only have two handhelds today, and if you should have any questions, please do not hesitate to raise your hand. One of us will approach you, and we will take your question, repeat the question for everyone, so that we can have a discussion. So please don't hesitate to challenge us. So what we're talking about today is quite unique because we are talking about email templating design and design only. So we're not talking about the automation behind it. We are talking about what's above the automation to give your email marketing the extra boost. So in the example of Tag Heuer, as I said, it's a very famous watchmaker. It operates worldwide and has over 2,000 shops and many, many different markets. So the challenges are obviously to get the right information to the right people at the right time and to make sure that the brand quality is consistent, delivered at a very high global scale. Tag Heuer is part of the LVMH group, and we have a couple of those brands from the H group in our portfolio. Yeah, as I said, it operates, I forgot to click, I'm sorry for that, globally, on a global scale. So in order to portray all these information, it's important that not only the right information about products, about maybe new trending topics or events are communicated to the right people, but also deliver also a high brand consistency and quality, and to portray the exceptional brand heritage of Tag Heuer in terms of all their capabilities and what they're famous for. And the two main goals for Tag Heuer were that they wanted to reinforce and improve their local communication. That means that they don't have a consistent, unified, well, they do have it, but they also wanted to scale and tailor their communication to the specific market needs. So what does that mean? On one hand, you might have the products, you might have events in certain countries, but in terms of global operations, all these markets have different aspects, different needs, and probably also need to be addressed in terms of ethics and other things in a certain way. And Tag Heuer wanted to make sure to get all these communication things right and check the right boxes, and also make sure on the same side that the brand image is delivered consistently, no matter where the local communication takes place, so that the brand image is portrayed in the right way. Right.
Few words about Dartagnan, just to make sure that you will understand what we do and what we don't do. You, as marketers, all use solutions like CRM, customer data platform, customer engagement platform, marketing automation tools. And actually, the goal for when you use this solution is to host, to work, and to activate your data. When using an email to activate your data, actually, you need to be efficient on it, as I was saying at the beginning. But very often, you face with several issues. Several issues due to, most of time, heavy, long, and tedious processes, and costly processes as well. And due also because your, let's say, the HTML editor integrated in your tools are not powerful enough or not easy to use at all for your teams. That's why more than now 600 customers use Dartagnan on a daily basis. Actually, the goal with Dartagnan is for CRM and marketing teams to design high-end emails without any technical or design constraints. Dartagnan is a SaaS, no-code email builder, okay? And the goal is to use the power of Dartagnan to design your email in a quick and easy way, okay? And once it's ready, then in one click, just generate, let's say, an up-to-date and full responsive email that you will copy and paste in your marketing tool. You can call it through an API as well, of course, okay? So having a Dartagnan with your marketing tool is the best combo you can have with your, for your email strategy. A few words about Just Relate?
Yeah, just to give you a quick, to make things more complicated actually, no, I want to give you a quick introduction of our group and where Dartagnan belongs to give you a better insight of why we do things the way you do. Because a couple of things of us are a bit unique for a software vendor. So Dartagnan is part of the Just Relate group, and we are Central European software vendor based in Berlin, based on or specialized in enterprise solutions in the areas of marketing, sales, and service. And our key goal, generally, across all our offerings, is to empower people. So what does that mean? Empowering people means that we empower the people in the areas of sales, marketing, and service to do their daily business without dependencies on third parties. So in the case of Dartagnan, you might have an agency who does the email templating for you, or you might have developers who do adjustments for you. So it always has an impact on your time to market, on your flexibility, your agility, in order to get the right message out at the right time. So our idea is to focus on the key business values in order to make sure that the day-to-day business has to be able to be handled by the people or the specialized people, the professionals in their jobs. And this is exactly what we do. We are trying to offer the best and most flexible software solution in the areas of content management, in the areas of marketing automation, and the areas of customer relationship management, as well as creation with Dartagnan, bringing it all together in a complex web offering. But the idea is always to put the integration at the highest level. So that means that All the solutions we offer are independently usable. In the case of Dartagnan, many of our clients use, for example, in automation, Salesforce, HubSpot, and other large solutions, and put the cherry on the cake with Dartagnan in order to enhance this part of email communication. Because the templating part is very, very unique and something which it's a niche, but it's always a hassle. For any marketer, for any agency, in order to get it right, you need time and you need a lot of testing. It costs money. And the most important thing, it costs time. And what you don't have usually is time, especially when you want to react and you want to communicate and engage with your customer base or your target audience. So this means, since it's something very special, and I'm quite sure I didn't know it before, many of you are not aware that email actually is kind of an art by itself. Email marketing or email templates are usually built in HTML, and with the exception of Outlook, which is built with VML, and it gets updated a lot. So if you have an integrated template builder, for example, in Salesforce and HubSpot, yes, they offer some sort of templating, but not at enterprise scale to the pixel-perfect solution, which well, Dartagnan is famous for. So that means also, on a technical level, if you have a template which you have been using for maybe a couple of months or maybe a year, since email code, HTML and VML is usually updated once or every 2 weeks, gets old over time, and the deliverability, the quality of the deliverability will decrease over time. And that's an impact, that's an issue that needs to be solved. With Dartagnan, it gets automatically updated, and that's a technical aspect you don't see, has a great impact. One of our larger clients, they have a masterclass, I think, at 12:30 at this booth again, is the airport Nuremberg. And for example, when they started Dartagnan, putting it on top of their automation system, they had an increase of 35% in deliverability in the same audience with the same design of their old template, just by using a very new actual template. This is just one aspect to give you an idea. But the other thing is obviously to make sure that you are flexible, that you can react, that you can be creative, that you can be innovative with these features. And this is what we do. We have complex, we call it customer experience cloud offering in the areas of creation, retain, and engage. And these are our clusters. We have an enterprise content management system. It's actually a bit more than that. It's a bit more advanced. So it's a low-code web interface builder, platform portal builder, which integrates in any of your systems. We do have, obviously, portal solutions, central identity access, and in the areas of automation, configuration, and customer relationship management, we do have Neoletter, Pisa Sales, the CPQ configuration, configure price quote systems as well. So if you would want to know more about our offerings, please do not hesitate to approach us afterwards or visit us at our booth. We will show the booth later. We also have time after the masterclass in order to answer all your questions if you might have them. But Tag Heuer, this is why you're here today. This is what we want to talk about. Just to give you a little more context about the initial issues Tag Heuer faced and what they wanted to resolve. I gave you 2 insights of what they're trying to achieve or what they're trying to achieve, but now we are trying to dive a little bit deeper. So the issue was that they wanted to industrialize their email marketing campaigns, so that the idea was to be able to scale it, to put the foot on the pedal in order to increase the performance, the output, not only in terms of all these different markets I was talking about earlier, but also in terms of volume. And obviously, it was supposed to be easy. So it has to work. The challenge was that it had to work on a day-to-day business and not that you might have to speak to third parties in order to get it done. And one of the key things is, obviously, the market changes. There are maybe sales approaching the marketing teams wanting to test something, to promote a new event. For example, they promote a lot of sports, Formula 1, tennis, all sorts of sports activities. And obviously this has to be communicated, and the speed is very important for Tag Heuer. And obviously, if you have a lot of people working especially on design things, you always have to consider corporate identity, corporate design in order to make sure that you have the brand consistency and brand image secured. So these challenges together basically were the foundation. And as I said earlier, Tag Heuer had the same issue. They have obviously an email automation system, an enterprise scale, and they had an integrated builder with limited functionality. This is what you usually find up to date with all the big vendors out there. So, and the production was fully outsourced. So they had, or they still have, one person managing email campaigns and email marketing. And obviously the setup was the classical setup with an agency and the developers in the agency. We will look a bit at detail a bit later into this, but obviously it has to do with a lot of project management and time to market, as has and always was an issue. So it was completely outsourced, and the idea was to get the production back inside. As I said, only managed by one person, and that was responsible, or still is responsible, for a large volume of emails. So putting the power back to the email marketing team, to the person responsible for the email, was the first task, and the ability to get the results in real time, more or less. So when we talk about the difference, we will see it later. We're coming from a couple of weeks to create a new email template, innovative email templates, reducing it to a couple of hours. And obviously, the ability not only to produce static emails, but as you've seen in our little video in the beginning, Dartagnan is famous to be able to deliver innovative features. So we're talking about animated GIFs, shop-in-shop experiences, sliders, things you might experience from a modern website rather than a static email. So the idea is, all of you, I'm sure, get a lot of emails every day, and most of us have a full inbox, and we get a lot of things we don't really want to see. So the idea is to catch the attention of the audience, to make sure that the message you want to deliver gets delivered at the right time to the right person. So this is all with Dartagnan possible, and the ability also to personalize and hyper-personalize, use automation in order to really target the person in front of you accordingly. Right.
Yeah. Just quickly, we had two steps in the project. The first one, as you were saying, was to bring email production back to Tag Heuer's team. The three main objectives of these first steps for Tag Heuer was time saving, so to gain in productivity, efficiency, agility as well. Of course, as a consequence, the second objective was to have a better time to market. I'm pretty sure you all experienced this moment when you are late in the business during the month, and then you need to send a new email. But as it is not planned, well, it's just impossible to have the email ready maybe before 3, 4, or 1 week sometimes. So you cannot send this email. So this is exactly the objective with Dartagnan. And of course, cost savings. On average, one email costs between 700 and 1,200 euros. With Dartagnan, of course, as we are on a SaaS model, you can save a lot. We will have KPIs just after, I think, but you can save a lot of money as well.
So when we talk about cost of an email, it's about the costs you have to spend at an agency, for example.
Yeah. For example, yes.
In order to create new templates.
Yeah. We had a second step with Tag Heuer in the project. As we were saying a bit earlier, Tag Heuer has several countries, several local markets. So as a second step, the goal is to give the hand to the local market as well, so that they can produce their own email. So to do that, the goal was to deploy the email design system within Dartagnan, so that all the assets can be shared within the tool, and then the main objectives of this step were to industrialize the processes of production, also to boost the performances thanks to as you were saying, also thanks to innovative features, for instance. And of course, most important for Tag Heuer in luxury brands, but it's also the case for you, of course. The goal is to have brand consistency and to avoid that local markets send emails without, let's say, respect the guidelines, the graphic charts, and so on. Now, if we go deeper in the first step, so bringing back email production in-house, okay? Um, as I would say, as all B2B and B2C brands, uh, as we were saying, email marketing is at the heart of your mixed marketing strategy, okay? This is the case for Tag Heuer as well. That is why they have a rich and various emailing landscape. Um, of course, they have several types of email, I would say, when they launch key products, when they launch product. They of course have their monthly newsletter, but they have also seasonal newsletters. They have special events for sports, for instance, and of course all the local emails the local markets needs to send. What does it mean? It means a large volume of email to produce, at least 500 email. Oh, sorry. If I come back. Okay, 500 emails per month, at least to produce, which is really huge. So, sorry. Okay. So we were talking about tedious and long processes. This is a typical scheme we have when we talk with a potential client, and when this potential client he has a full delegation with an agency, for instance. But this is the case also when we work internally to produce one email, because we work with the design department, maybe we work with the IT department as well. So this is exactly the same case. We have to plan all things. On average, to produce one email, uh, we have at least 3 to 5 days, but sometimes it takes more than 2 or 3 weeks to produce just one email. So we were talking about time to market. You can't have a good time to market when it takes so many times. Okay, and of course we have the scheme here because you have the brief, and then you have at the other
Agency?
extreme, I want to say,
Yeah,
between the
extreme.
brief and the campaign to be broadcast, you have many back and forth. You have some testing email, and then you have some modification to ask, and then you have some new testing email, and so on and so on. And this is the way you lose a lot of time.
Mhm.
So, of course, as a consequence, lack of autonomy, for sure, and in the case of Tag Heuer, dependence on service agencies. I was talking about planification. This is the case. Another point which is really important, and we will talk a bit later about this, but they had a lack of responsivity. Okay, imagine when you send an email and your customers are going to open the email on their smartphone, and then what's happening, sorry, the email is broken. Okay, what is going to happen is going to close the email very fast. So bad customer experience, very bad for your brand image, and of course very bad for your business. So this is a key point. Low productivity, okay, and uh, budget and cost out of control, of course. Okay, thank you. When we integrate Dartagnan in the email production process. We're going to cut all those steps. We will see how just after, but the goal actually with Dartagnan is to have an email design system ready. What does it mean? It means to have what we call some blocks, okay? Most of time we call this a boilerplate, and most of time a boilerplate is made of, let's say, 20 to 30 blocks. And with those 20 to 30 blocks, you can produce as many emails as you want in a very quick way. The goal is to have an email ready between 30 minutes and 1 hour maximum. As a KPIs for Heuer, very quickly after using Dartagnan, after the onboarding, actually they were able to produce 75% more campaigns. So it was really important for them because they had a strategic point as well. They wanted to set up a lot of triggers. Okay, this is really important to have some triggers in place for your customers and potential clients. A trigger email is, for instance, if I subscribe to my newsletter, then I'm going to receive a nice email from you saying, okay, welcome. Now you will send this kind of emails and then you maintain a good relationship with your customers or potential clients. But you need to produce all those emails, and that's what Heuer was able to do now. Another thing which is important about the triggers, we were talking about HTML. The thing is that in email marketing, it moves all the time. You know, we have many webmails, we have many screen sizes, we have new smartphones arriving on the market, okay? Which means that the HTML of the email needs to be updated on a regular basis, really. And one advantage to have all those emails, all those triggers in Dartagnan is that you just need to click on the button to generate the new HTML, because we update our code, let's say, at least between 2 and 3 times per month. Okay.
What that means is, for example, you have new iPhones. I think a new one just arrived, and with the new generation mobile devices, you have new possibilities in terms of innovative ways to market things in terms of shop-in-shop experiences, sliders, animations, and so on. But you might also have the odd person who's still working on a Windows XP computer with an old Outlook, and especially with Outlook, I'm sure many of you will have the issue that images are not displayed in the right way, the emails don't look well. Dartagnan has so-called fallback options. So what you do within the templating is that you define the innovative feature, but you define the fallbacks for Outlook, for old devices, and you can check it before you send the email. So you are sure that it's delivered in a pixel perfect, really down to the pixel perfect way to the end customer. And the deliverability, if you set it up correctly, is above 95% worldwide guaranteed. So this is the difference you get at this point. With the KPIs, it's important to understand that nothing changed with the team. So we're talking about exactly the same team setup at Heuer.
Yep.
So these KPIs are one-to-one comparable to what was happening before. So we're talking about one person responsible for email marketing.
Sure. And a cherry on the cake, they saved some money as well, and they divided their email budget by 4, which is not a record. We have another house in the same group, Dior. They divided their cost by 10.
Oh, that's exceptional.
This was amazing.
Right, and it all starts with, as I said, a couple of setups you need to do. So in order to make sure that you deliver a brand consistency and that you make sure that you have all or Dartagnan set up in the right way to arrive potentially at these KPIs and solutions, it's important to set up the guidelines so that the users who are using it cannot break anything and can really are empowered and can really take full advantage of the capabilities of of Dartagnan. So in the case of Dartagnan, Tag Heuer, we will go through the couple of points in terms of corporate design. So of course we have a design system, and of course you can set up your unique design system so that it is respected in the building blocks and Dartagnan for your use. In terms of colors, in terms of fonts, obviously in terms of buttons, everything can be defined and obviously preset so that you can embark on this. And it all results then in a setup which allows you to build on this. And as we said before, it always comes back down to enabling, enhancing, empowering people to work well in their daily business and create these emails in a very short time. So with the building blocks, so to understand the design aspect of Dartagnan a little bit more, you can build anything from scratch in Dartagnan, anything you would want, but the idea is that the things you really need frequently and that you want to build on are saved in so-called blocks, so modules that you can recall and click together, and you can change anything within the template. When I say anything, I really mean anything. You don't need a graphics designer in terms of to change a picture, a text in front of a picture. Anything you see in the template can be edited on a low-code level. You need, obviously, the ability to have an eye for design and what works and what doesn't, but you don't need a graphics designer to work within Dartagnan. Anything is editable, and anything can be set up so that it has a fallback option. You can have the full capability of what's available and possible in terms of innovation, but you still have the static image. In case of Dior, for example, they have then maybe on an old computer or something, a very nice picture and the right solution. So coming back to this, it's just a few blocks, and it gives you the full capabilities and possibilities to be creative and design stunning emails.
Yeah, that's what we were saying a bit earlier. I was talking about boilerplate, and yes, I would say that most of our customers are going to have between 20, 30 main blocks, let's say. Of course, after you can decline those blocks, but the goal, yes, is to have around 30 blocks, and then you can cover 100% of your email. And of course, the goal is to avoid to be boring in mailboxes. Okay, too many often we receive the same, let's templates. With D'Artagnan, we do not talk about template anymore. We talk about blocks, so that when you build your email, you can choose the blocks you want to use, and then, as you were saying, yeah, you can edit whatever you want. We can't talk, of course, about all the features we have in the tool, but coming back just before, one thing is interesting, because we let's say we can talk about our innovation as well. About the fonts, very often you have specific fonts, okay? But specific fonts are not compatible at 100% with all the webmails in reception. Okay, it's by the way, it's between 20 and 25% today. Okay, but you can use them within D'Artagnan, and when it's not compatible, you always have what we call a fallback. Okay, which means that if your specific font is not compatible, then it will be automatically replaced by another one. If this other one is not compatible, by another one, and so on, until the last one. I don't remember the name of the font, but the last one which works everywhere. Just an example of a feature. So, yeah, we wanted to share with you some example of the Tag Heuer email design system. So here we have the blocks, and yeah, a header. Yeah, okay. So here we have the example of an editorial hero, and once again, every part of this block is editable. Okay.
For example, pictures in front of pictures.
Exactly.
The watch, you can just exchange the watch or change the color, the background color, and everything is yeah, adjustable at any time in a very short way.
Yeah. A background specific feature we will talk a bit later, just after. But the goal here is that you can superpose some elements on an image, and it may look simple, but this is really powerful. We were talking about saving some time. Well, most of time, this kind of element is a full image, okay? And what's happening if there is one mistake on the image, then you need to ask to change the image and back and forth. Then with the background feature, you can edit each part of the background, and then you can change by yourself in 1 second the text or whatever you want to change. Um, Product highlights, visual focus. Okay. Yeah, you can design whatever you want. We have 3 columns here. I am not sure we do not have, but you can have some quincons, some sliders as well, for instance, if you want to show your products with a carousel. So you can have more interactivity in your emails, and this is really powerful in terms of
This is also
click.
something which is very unique. We'll come back to the breakpoints in a minute. This becomes very interesting in a couple of seconds. But what I really like is, for example, the shop-in-shop experiences. You can really connect your shopping system. You don't need to jump to a shop. You can do and trigger something straight from the email and do connect it to the right place, so that you can really don't have the breakpoint here at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, editor 2 columns, and then the footer. Most of the time, customers have one or two footer with the legal mentions, so that you can reuse each time this kind of block, and you can save a lot of time. Okay, so I think you get it now, but the goal is to, like the Lego game, you take the blocks you want, and then most of time one email is made of 5 blocks, and then you can edit each part of the email, and you just need to adapt the text, the color if you want to use another color, the image, and so on.
Yeah, and this is something we were talking about responsiveness. So anyone here will know what it means. So it means that if you shrink whatever you see to a mobile device, everything will be then displayed smaller so that you can, for example, read it on the mobile phone. But when we talk about responsiveness, we talk about true breakpoints. What does that mean? We're not talking about shrinking everything together, but yet that to be able to give you the ability to really change what you see on a desktop, on the mobile version, or a tablet. So this means that you can define whatever you want to be displayed to the pixel perfect level. So for example, if you have a part which doesn't look good, or you don't want to be displayed on the phone, you can just tell the designer to hide it on the mobile phone. So it will be displayed on the desktop, but it will not be displayed on the phone. Such as well as that you can really change everything in the certain area. You can change the look of the design on the mobile. It can be completely different to what you see in the same template on your desktop. So you can really optimize it to the pixel perfect solution, resolution on the right device. So this is really interesting because it gives you full ability to enhance, for example, if you know that from your KPIs, you know that your emails are going to be displayed on mobiles, for example, or portable devices, that you can really optimize every channel in the right way, and, for example, put your results from your A/B test right into the designer and enhance your template straight away with the next mailing.
Yeah. So the thing is that at the end, this is just one HTML. Okay. That's why we're talking about full responsive at HTML. We talked about it just before, but once again, really powerful. And if we link this feature to the breaking point, then, for instance, you can adapt the image thanks to the background. You can change the image on the mobile version without having any impact on the desktop version. So this is the way you can really fine-tune the customer experience you will propose to your customers.
Brand new, for example, is the ability to also make use of full width. So you can really create emails using the full width of the monitor that is going to be displayed on.
Yes, right.
It's something
is a new
also a
feature.
brand new feature in terms of responsiveness.
Yeah. So benefits for regarding the production, of course, once again, 20 to 30 modules, and then unlimited emails to be produced, and no template anymore. You can propose different customer experience to your potential clients and customers. For process, increase productivity. Okay, really important. And then when you have several markets, you can, of course, decentralize the production of the email, and you make sure that you have a brand consistency as well. And of course, you can empower your teams in the other markets. And the goal, thanks to this, is also to spend more time on strategy instead of production. This is the final goal of the productivity, of course. And last, brand image, of course, you can control and you can make sure that your guidelines will be respected, and then that your communication, globally speaking, will have the same look and feel. And this is really good for your brand image. I think that's it.
Yeah, last but not least, thanks for your attention. One thing with Dartagnan, just to round things up, it is 100% compatible to any email sending tool you might want to use. So you can really export or push the HTML straight via API into your automation system and use it instantly. Yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions? If you should have questions, please, yes. Do we have any do's and don'ts in terms of A/B testing to optimize the outcome? Well, that really depends on the message you want to portray and obviously your target audience. What you obviously shouldn't do if you really know that, for example, that your messages are going to be displayed on a certain device, that you then don't respect these things. So it really makes a lot of sense to listen to the results and then adapt these outcomes and the knowledge in terms of your design. So what it does, what Dartagnan allows you to do, is really take what you've learned and really, with the next email, apply them to your messaging. Yeah. All right.
I have a question regarding the comparable to Salesforce Marketing Cloud Content Builder, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what you just highlighted here is very comparable to the Salesforce solution. Can you maybe highlight the main advantages to the Salesforce solution?
Yes. Yeah, that's a good question. We have it frequently. It's, as we said, the comparable comparison to Salesforce Marketing Cloud. We do have the same questions usually with HubSpot and other automation systems. Obviously, they have integrated building solutions. However, in terms of code quality, updating the code in the background, this is one key advantage, as well as the deliverability over time, as well as the respectiveness of these true breakpoints as one that you can really define the design to the pixel and to be fully capable and autonomous in terms of the adaptations and designs to the pixel. This is, for example, very important to brands such as Heuer, Lacoste. They really want to know that their brand is respected to the pixel perfect and that everything is displayed on the according device, no matter how they send it. So quite a few of our clients, the large ones, I'm not sure, I think Heuer is using Salesforce
All
or HubSpot.
LVMH use
Salesforce.
it as
So
Salesforce.
exactly. So they're using, they're putting it together, using Dartagnan on top of the automation system. And another thing which we didn't talk about is, or not in detail, is that Dartagnan allows you, I think briefly I said it, to really respect your automation systems. So it has the ability to work with placeholders in order to address people personally, up to hyper-personalized information. So you can set the template up in a way that it has different options, and depending on what option is triggered by the automation system, the template will deliver maybe different content to different people. Yeah.
Also with Salesforce. Can you also test like your email on different devices, different operating systems?
Yes.
How does it look like?
Yes, we have different options within the builder. We have the ability to share so-called mirror link, where you can see the different devices. We check it. I think we have more than 200 devices on
Yes.
on a
Yes.
day-to-day testing,
Yes.
and
This
we
is
have like
in
a
email
view.
marketing. This is the only way to check that an
Yeah.
email is really
Yeah.
compatible on all mailboxes.
Yeah.
Even using some tools like Litmus or whatever, it's fake. The only mean is to send the email and to check on all devices, on all screen sizes, on all webmails and so on. That's why we have a lab made of 250 mobiles, well, let's say devices. And then when we, at the beginning, for instance, when we start to work together, we're going to show you how to integrate the first modules, and then we will have a quality control. And during this quality control, we will send the blocks on all in our lab device, actually, and then we check that everything is okay. And once the blocks, 20 to 30 blocks are ready, you can make sure that you can reuse them each time, and it will be perfect in reception.
Yeah.
To give you an idea, 30%. Yeah.
Asset for this. You send an email to email on asset, and then they have an overview of all the devices.
Yeah, you don't need to send it anywhere. It's within the system. So it's all within the system. You also have a mirror link which you can share with the team, where you can follow in a team, no matter where they are worldwide in real time, and to see the changes on the different devices. You can test it yourself while you're editing it. You have an option to hide, basically, or to simulate an old Outlook in order to see if the fallbacks work or not. So. And we do have a quality control at the back as well, which show you missing links, if the images are too large, if the content is too large, in order to make sure that the deliverability, the weight of the email, for example, is not too high, so that it gets delivered in the best quality. Yeah. So it really concentrates on design at an exceptional level. Yeah. Before I lose, or we lose all of you, we do have our people at the booth. We can answer, obviously, questions, but please do not hesitate to visit us at the booth in Hall 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, any further questions? There is a question, okay. All right, you need to shout, I'm sorry. That would usually be set up in the automation. So the question was, sorry, is A/B testing integrated within the within Dartagnan? Dartagnan only deals with the design. So what you usually would do is that you would create two versions of what you want to send in order to test what works better, and then the automation tool would give you the feedback, and then you can implement it within the designer and optimize it accordingly. Yes. Any more questions? No. Well then, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And have a
And
nice
then
day.
have a great day, and maybe see you at our booth later.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You.